Hi everyone, today I'm going to talk about the film Letter from an Unknown Woman. It is an American film produced in 1948. We see in the beginning of the film, in early 20th century, a man who receives a letter given to him by his mute butler, and the letter was written by a woman who claimed that when he receives this letter, she will probably be already dead. Then we can see that decades earlier in Vienna, in around 1900, there was a very young girl called Lisa, and then a pianist, he moved into her neighborhood, and she was deeply in love with him. The pianist was older than her. She was fascinated by his music. She loved everything he did, but they never actually had a chance to meet. They only met once. It was a platonic love. Someday, Lisa's mother told her she was a widow. Then Lisa's mother told her that she would remarry, and her future father-in-law, he was a wealthy businessman in the city of Linz, and because of her new marriage, the entire family would relocate to Linz. At first, Lisa resisted, didn't want to go, but she had to follow her family. But when they were about to go to Linz to catch the train, Lisa left her family and returned to her house. The pianist wasn't there, but after she decided to wait for him, and after a while he returned home with another woman. Then Lisa felt heartbroken and she decided to go to Linz with her mom and her stepfather. Some years later, she was already kinda 18 years old, and then she received a marriage proposal. Her parents wanted very much that she marry this guy, but Lisa refused, saying that she was already engaged to someone else. It was a lie. Actually, Lisa didn't want to get married because she didn't forget her platonic love for the pianist from Vienna, and then of course that her parents got very angry with this lie and they disowned her. And then Lisa moved back all by herself to Vienna and worked as a model in a shop. And every day she returned to her old neighborhood in Vienna to see if the pianist was there. Someday she was lucky and she met the pianist, and he fell in love with her, and then they went on a date, and then they ended up making love just once. But when everything seemed to be perfect, the pianist told Lisa that he would need to give a concert in Milan, but that he would be back in 2 weeks. Unfortunately, he had no intention to keep his promise and he never returned. Unfortunately, Lisa was pregnant, but she didn't try to contact the father of her son because she wanted to be the only woman who never asked anything from the pianist. And we can see it is implied throughout the film that the pianist was a womanizer and a very irresponsible person, even though he was a talented musician. So, Lisa was a single mother and she struggled for many years because it wasn't easy for her to financially support her son. After some years, a army man fell in love with Lisa. Lisa told him about her past, but he wanted to marry Lisa anyway. He was very wealthy. He treated her son as if he was his own son, and it was a happy marriage. However, all of a sudden, After years, Lisa got to meet again the pianist who was the biological father of her son. Her current husband realized that, and of course that he was very jealous. And then Lisa was very moved with that. She realized that the pianist was no longer a pianist, that the irresponsible way of life that he had took a toll on him. And then Lisa decided to leave her husband to be with the pianist. However, when she met with the pianist, she felt heartbroken when she realized that he had no idea of who she was. And to make things worse, when she left her husband, she decided to send her son to study in another city again. It wouldn't be the first time her son would study away from the city. However, when she was taking her son to catch the train was quarantined, so they entered the train by mistake. And then it's shown that a passenger died of typhus in the train. So, after some time, she had this problem, this sorrow with the pianist because he didn't remember her. And after a while, she knew that her son caught typhus and passed away. And of course, she found herself totally alone in the world and desperate. And then she found out that she also caught the same disease and that she was dying. And before she passes away, she decided to write the pianist saying who she was and about the son they had. And this is why she said in the beginning of the letter that she would probably be dead when the pianist finally got to read the letter. She was in the hospital with typhus in a very serious condition, and there would be no time for her to tell everything in person. And then we can see the pianist much older than in the beginning of the film. Many years have passed, and then he asked his mute butler if he remembered the woman when she was in his house. And he nodded yes, and he wrote on a piece of paper her full name. And then he finally realized who the woman was. But unfortunately, it was too late. Both the woman and their son had already passed away. It's a very beautiful film about undying love and the importance of being responsible with those we are in a relationship with. He told the woman he would be back in 2 weeks, but he didn't keep his promise. Sure, the woman could contact him, but it was around 1900. It wasn't too easy to contact someone who was away. The distances were bigger, things were more difficult, and there was a huge social stigma about a woman raising a child all by herself. So unfortunately, as she said, he never had what has always been his. He never had a love that truly belonged to him. So it's a sad film, but it's very, very beautiful, touching, with beautiful acting of the actors. And it's a film that I seriously recommend you. Joan Fontaine is she acts beautifully. In the details, we can see the emotions of her character. It's something that stands out a lot. That's all for now, folks. I hope you enjoyed this video. See you!